Hi fashion lovers, you're welcome to another interesting video. Trust you're all doing well. In today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to sew this beautiful bustier dress with yoke. In my previous video we learned how to draft it, and this is the detailed sewing of this dress. If you have not seen the video on how to draft it, I will leave the link to it in the description box or the comment section. If you are new here, you are highly welcome. This is So Style with GB. Kindly subscribe to be part of this family for more amazing videos. And to all my subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sticking by. Thank you all. I really appreciate. Let's get started. To get started, I have cut out my patterns on fabric. This is the center front. You can see I added ½ inch all over it. This is the side front. I have added ½ inch and side seam sewing allowance, and I cut out this with a lining. You can see I cut out a lining. So I went ahead to cut out a skirt pattern, although in my previous video I didn't show how to cut a skirt, but I've made videos on how to cut a well-fitted skirt on this channel. So I just went ahead to cut out my skirt, and the hem part of the skirt I added sewing allowance of 2.5 inches for the hemming allowance, but on the lining I added just ½ an inch. So this is my interfacing. I'm going to be adding interfacing to all the fabric. I'm going to iron interfacing to my fabric just to give it a bit of structure. So the next thing is to cut out our padding. So the padding is going to be on the under bust, right? It's going to stop on the under bust. So you want to determine how high you want it to be on the center front, and that is what you see me doing. So between the place I made lines here, let me just fold this part, between here to the under bust is where the padding is going to be. I will not be adding sewing allowance to the pad. So this is how the padding is going to be for the center front. So this is what I have as the padding. So this is how the padding is going to be. So for the side front, you want to come to the bust point and measure half of your nipple to nipple measurement plus ½ an inch. Mine is 3.5, and I'll add ½ an inch to it. That is 4 inches. So what I marked there is 4 inches from the bust point line. So you try to make a curve and connect, and also make a curve above like this. Did you see what I'm doing? So that is how the side pad is going to be. Did you see what I did? So basically mark ½ of your nipple to nipple measurement plus ½ an inch on the bust point line and make a curve just like you see me doing. You can use a curve ruler if you wish, or you just use your hand to draw out the curve. So this is how the curve is going to be. You can trace this pattern on another pattern paper, trace the padding part to be able to cut it so that it will be easier for you. So this is the wadding I'm going to be making use of. This is the thick wadding. It has the fusible part and the non-fusible part. Like one side of it can be gone to the fabric. So I have gone ahead to cut out my padding. You can see I've traced it out and cut out exactly what I showed you, and I marked out the bust point so I won't miss it while placing it on my fabric. And you can see this part also. I have cut out this part as well, the center front, which is on fold, while the side now, this one I'm losing out now, is in 2 pieces. Did you see that? So I'm gonna ahead to iron an interfacing to my fabric. I had added just a paper stay to it. Did you see? So I'm trying to notch very well the bust point line and the under bust line, because that is how we're going to place it. You can see if you place it, you will see that the padding didn't get to the sewing allowance. It was a deliberate stuff, so that I will just sew the sewing allowance. So this is me trying to place it like so, making sure the bust point matches with the bust point on the fabric. You don't want to miss it. So this is the lining. So but I'm not going to be sewing this on the fabric. I want to make my padding. I want my padding to be on the lining. I don't know, but I feel it makes it better when it's on the lining, you know. Yeah, I think it's just better that way. So before I iron this padding to the lining, I want to do like a push-up effect on the bustier. So from this up now, from this part now, I went up by 0.75, that is 3/4 of an inch. If you are a bigger person, you can use 1 inch. You can just go up by 1 inch. So this thing that I did is called the push up effect. If you are doing bust caging, this is very important. This will like push up your bustier, your under bust up, just the way the bra is. You can see from the center of the bra is a bit up. So that is the reason why I did that, just like a push-up effect. So it's very good if you do that. So this is me on the sewing machine trying to sew. You can see I ironed my padding on the lining. You can do on the fabric, but I think the lining is actually the best, just the way we do our bust caging on the lining. So I think lining is usually the best. Over time, I've seen that adding my padding to the lining is actually more better than the main fabric. You can see how I've gone ahead to sew this. Isn't this beautiful? This is giving already. So how I sew this is I first of all match the under bust to the under bust and the bust point to the bust point with my pin, and then I will start sewing. The reason why I mash this is so I don't miss the point. Did you see? I don't miss the bust point and I don't miss the under bust. So that is the reason why you see me doing this. So you want to go ahead and sew with a 1/2 inch you have added. Don't sew more than that. You can use your pen and mark out the inch. You can see how the pad is already giving. Everywhere is well contoured and beautiful. So this is the back part. I will just go ahead and sew the linings for the two part back parts, and anyhow, and whatever I do for the lining, I will also do for the main fabric. So how I sew the lining is the way I will sew the main fabric. So this is the second part of the lining. I will go ahead and sew it. So when I was done, this is what I have. As you can see, I have sewn everywhere up. You can see how this bustier is. It came out really well and I like the effect. If you follow my pattern just the way I have taught in the previous video, trust me, you will get this right. You will get this right. I didn't even do bust caging. Most times I don't even use bust caging. Even for my plus size client, I don't use bust caging, but my bustier always come out perfectly well. So you want to go ahead with your steaming iron, open up your side seam just the way you see me do, and go ahead and iron it out. As you iron the inside, you are also going to turn it to the right side and iron it just the way you see me doing. So as you can see how curvy the bustier part is. There is no bust caging, just the normal padding, and everything came out really well. I love this dress. I love how it came out. So this is the main fabric. This is me trying to iron out the main fabric. So I only attached an interfacing on the main fabric. You can use paper stay, you can use a stay. So I have paper stay available, and that is what I used. If I had an S stay, I would have made use of that. So after I was done ironing, this is what I have. I've gone ahead to cut out my yoke. So this is the front yoke. As you can see, you want to notch the middle point and open it up. So you want to go ahead and sew it to the front part. Did you see the front part now? So you want to go ahead, match it up the way you see me doing, and then match it to the end. Use your pin. You know the net is stretchy, so you want to use your pin. So after sewing it, after adding it, I noticed the length is a bit bigger, and the reason is because the length is stretchy. I was not meant to add sewing allowance to the length, to the net, since the net is stretchy, but I went ahead to add the sewing allowance. So that is the reason why the net was a bit bigger and I have to trim it out. So you want to push your net in just the way you see me do and match up with your lining. Did you see the way I'm matching up with my lining? Match it up. Use your pin. You can see I work with my pin a lot. It saves me the stress of one side being bigger or longer than the other. So when I'm done sewing the upper part, you want to go ahead and notch it. So with this now, you have joined the lining to the front part. Now you can go ahead and trim off the excess. So by the time you open it up, this is what you are going to have. You want to go ahead and stretch this out. So you want to really stretch it out and use your steaming iron to iron it out. You have to iron it out. So at this point, I've gone ahead to iron it. You can see is giving everything it needs to give. Did you see that? Even though I have a small bust or small bust, but it really came out well. So after that, I want to open this up and attach my skirt part. So you want to open it up, attach the skirt part just the way you see me do. The right side of the skirt will face the right side of the fabric, and you are holding it alone on the main fabric, not with the lining. So after, you want to go ahead and join the skirt to the top. Now you also want to do the same. You can see I am adding the lining separately to the lining part and the fabric separately to the fabric parts. This is just to achieve a neat finishing. You want to go ahead and sew it so that by the time you are done, you will see something like this. So now this is the skirt part for the back. So you want to go ahead and get the 8 inches for your zipper allowance, and then I took it to 20 inches. So after 20 inches is where my slit is going to be. Did you see that? So I'm trying to get where my slit is going to be. So this is the part I'm gonna sew. Leave space for the slit and for the zipper. So this is the back part as well. Grab the yoke part of the back and mash it up just like we did for the front. Did you see how the yoke part is going to be? Go ahead and sew it just the way you see me illustrate. So after I was done sewing this is what I have. This really came out beautiful. I also want to trim out this excess around here. So you push your net in and bring in your lining for the back part. So this is my lining. I want to go ahead and sew it by the 1/2 inch I have added, mash it up and go ahead and sew. So when I was done, I will go ahead and notch it as well. Trim off the excesses because I don't need it. So when you turn it to the right side, this is what you are going to have. Did you see that? You want to repeat the same process for the other side of the back. So when I was done, this is what I have. Isn't this beautiful? You can see that. Then I went ahead to grab my skirt. I have sewn the dart on the skirt. I have left space for my zipper. I have sewn in between the skirt. So I want to go ahead and mash the skirt up, the upper part and the lower part of the dress. You want to mash it up, excluding the lining. You can see I am not adding lining to this, just the fabric to fabric, and we will do the lining to lining as well. So when you mash it up, this is what you are going to have. Then you want to go ahead and grab the lining parts now and then mash the lining to lining. So the right side of the lining will face the right side of the top, and then you also do the same for the other side. So after matching it up, you want to go and sew the waistline by the 1/2 inch you have added, and this is what I have. So when I was done sewing this is the front part. As you can see, I've done joining. So now let's work on the front. Now you want to open it up like this, face the right side up. You can see the lining is shorter than the main fabric, so you want to match the lining and the fabric up on the hem part and go and sew by 1/2 inch. You can see I have done that, although the lining is shorter than the fabric. So when you have done that, you now align the lining now to the you align the lining well. So you want to come here and make sure the lining of the waist matches with the main fabric. Just follow what I'm doing. So you make sure the lining matches, the waistline of the lining matches with the waistline of the fabric, and then you want to go ahead and arrange this. You can see as I'm arranging it, you can see the fabric is going inward. That was the reason why. That's the effect you will get when your fabric is longer than the lining. So you want to go ahead and sew the side. After arranging it like this, make sure everything matches together. You sew the side by 1/2 inch. So the sewing allowance I added on this fabric is 2 inches. So I sew the side by 1/2 inch, leaving me with 1.5 inches. So from the armhole, you turn it to the right side. Like I said earlier, my lining is my main fabric is 2 inches longer than the lining. So on the hem part of the fabric, I added hemming allowance of 2.5, but on the lining I added 1/2 inch. So, and the reason is so that I will have that effect. Did you see now this effect I had on the down part? So the front now is done. Let's face the back. So I've also gone ahead to sew the back now. As you can see, I have sewn the back on the waistline. Turn the back to the right side as well, right side facing each other. You want to go ahead and sew the hem parts now with the lining and the main fabric by 1/2 inch. So when you are done, this is what you are going to have. So the next thing is to mash up the slits now, just the way you see me do. The 2 points of the sleeve must mash up. You have to mash it up like this, and then you want to fold in the fabric. You can see how the fabric is falling in. Did you see? And then go ahead and stitch this. Go ahead and stitch this point. You also do the same. Once you match the slit up, you also go ahead and sew here. From this point now, from this point, you sew down by the 1 inch on that part. Did you see? So after I was done sewing, this is what I have. I will just use my scissors to notch that point so it relaxes very well. Did you see that? So the next thing now is to work on the zipper side. So I will go ahead and stitch the zipper side by 0.25. So the sewing allowance on this zipper part is 1 inch, but I'm going to be stitching this part by 0.25 inch. You can see the way I'm arranging it. This is the zipper side. Bring the fabric out like this and go ahead and stitch the lining and the main fabric by 0.25. So when I was done, this is what I have. You can see I've stitched it. So as I was doing it, I have to push my yoke inside so I don't sew with the yoke. Did you see that? So when you are done, arrange the side seam. Make sure the waistline of the lining matches with the waistline of the fabric, and then go ahead and sew by 1/2 inch on the inside, just like we did for the front. You arrange it also perfectly well and sew exactly like that. So by the time you are done now, from the armhole, you want to turn it to the right side. So after I was done, this is what I have. You can see how the slit is looking so perfectly well tailored. Did you see that? And this is the zipper side. You can see how it's looking. So we're still going to be attaching zipper to it, although it might be a bit difficult for you to attach zipper, especially if you are using this method for the first time. But just take your time to attach the zipper with the remaining sewing allowance. You can just use 1/2 inch to attach the zipper. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my zipper. Did you see that? I will go ahead and attach my zipper, and after attaching the zipper, you place the front and the back and mash it up on the side. Make sure the lining the joining part on the waist matches together, you do the same for the other side. Go ahead and sew by the remaining sewing allowance you have. Stitch the shoulders as well, the front and the back shoulder. Stitch it together as well by the sewing allowance you have added. So after I was done, this is what I have. Did you see how everything, see the zipper, everything came out so well, perfectly well. So after you have done turn it to the right side now, the next thing is to do the turtleneck collar, the collar now, the turtleneck collar, and this is the fabric I'm going to be using. I have just measured a fabric that is about 14 inches. Although I might not be able to exhaust it, I will get the midpoint of that fabric and see I've already marked a straight line. Don't know if you can see a straight line that I marked. Then you want to grab your neck now. For the front neck, hold it into two, fold it into two like this. The front neck neck now. Then measure from that point till the end of the shoulder, the tip of the shoulder like this. I have it as 5 inches. So from that point you also measure one part of the back. I have it as 4.5. Let me measure the front again. From this part now, you measure to the end. The neckline of the front is on fold now. At this point it is 5 inches, and you also want to hold this part and measure the back. I have it as 4.5 inches. So you can see I've divided this line. So one part of it is the front. So this part is front. I measured 5 inches from that point now to meet that end. So from this point I'm measuring 4.5. Did you see that? So this is the back, this is the front. The front has the 5 inches, the back has the 4.5. So from this point now you go up by half an inch, and with a curve ruler still connect it to the center. Did you see? So from that point where the 5 inch ended, you go up by half an inch and still connect it to the line. So the other back part is 1 inch. So I went up by 1.25 as the length of the height of the collar, and then went inward by 0.25. Did you see? So I went inward by 0.25. This is so that my collar would come out well. So you want to go ahead and mark the height of the collar you are working with. Mark the height of the collar you are working with. Did you see that? So use your curve ruler and measure this part, which is the front, and this part that is back is straight like this. Did you see it? So this is the center front, this is the side back. So this is the center. Now did you see the part that will be like the side seam now, that the front and the back meets? So you want to go ahead and cut this out. I believe you understood how to cut the collar. If not, kindly ask me your questions in the comment sections. In the comment section, I will go ahead and trim this out. So now after I'm done cutting, I brought out the piece of net that I have and I folded it once, but I want to cut the lining and the collar together, so I'm going to fold it again, just the way you see me doing, as you can see. So the part that is the center front is going to be on fold. You can see how the collar is not really straight. Then I'm going to be cutting it out and be adding ½ inch sewing allowance, just the way you see me do, ½ inch sewing allowance like this, while the center back is on fold. And when I was done, this is what I have, and you can just notch the center, the middle, just to know what you are doing when you want to fix it to be easier. So when you open the collar, you can see how the collar is. So this is the second one that will serve like the lining of the collar. So you want to go ahead and stitch the upper part by the ½ inch you have added. So as you can see, I have stitched the upper part. I can go ahead and trim it up by ½ inch. Did you see? So I went ahead to trim off the excesses, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So when I open it up, this is what I have. So this is the part that will be joined to the neckline, our neckline. Make sure you get the middle point and notch it. So you want to open the collar up, place one side at the wrong side. Now you begin to place it like this. So you want to sew it with one side of the collar and then use the other side of the collar to close it up, just the way you sew your skirt band. So after that, I've gone ahead to stitch that part up. Did you see? I don't know if you can see this well. After stitching it, I'll go ahead and stitch the end. Did you see? Stitch the end of the collar. So when I'm done stitching the end of the collar, I will just trim it out and then turn it to I'll also stitch the other side, turn it to the right side and begin to fold it by the 1/2 inch and begin to cover up the rough edges. Did you see? So I've gone ahead to do the same. I have sewn the collar. So as you can see, I am done attaching the collar and this is what I have. It came out so beautiful. You can decide to add hook and eye to this part or you leave it like that. At this point, I think I'll add hook and eye just to hold the collar in place. So the next thing is to grab my sleeve. So I have my sleeve pattern already. I went ahead to cut my sleeve. Did you see? And I will go ahead and attach it. At this point, I was done and this is what I have. Did you see the fitting on the bustier? Did you see the fitting of the bustier on me, the yoke and everything? It really came out so beautiful, perfect, as you can see, and it's giving everything it should give. You can see the underbust was well contoured, even though I have a small bust. I believe you enjoyed this video and you have gotten value as well. If you do, kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you and see you in my next tutorial. Till then, bye bye.